just off the cuff, that I'd throw a question out there for no one else, just for myself. Your thoughts around nutritional guidelines for pregnancy?
Right, okay, so in pregnancy, obviously your energy needs are going to increase as you're growing a new human inside you. So if we talk about 5 food groups in terms of the grain group, that's a primary source of energy for the body. So that actually increases up from 6 to 8.5 serves per day. So yeah, and what a serve is, it's a 1 slice of whole grain bread, for example, or a quarter cup of muesli, half a cup of cooked oats, half a cup of cooked quinoa, rice, pasta. So
I don't know if I'd get that much into me, to be honest with you. I have noticed that I've definitely wanted more carbohydrates. Yeah. So instead of having a salad for lunch, like a protein salad for lunch, I would prefer to have a sandwich, like protein salad in the form of a sandwich or a wrap, because I just feel like I need to have more satisfaction or more feel fuller. But yeah, I don't know if I'd get 8.5.
8.5 serves per day. Yeah. And obviously it's coming from that group as opposed to saying, I can eat more because I'm pregnant, and choosing, fast foods or those higher fat, higher sugar.
Yeah, so it's still in the whole grains.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's one.
More energy.
Mm-hmm. You're also having a look at maximising iron and iodine as well, which are minerals, and zinc as well. So again, that if we look at the protein group too, you're going to get sources of iron, zinc, and potentially iodine if you're having seafood, but then that's a tricky one for pregnant women because we've also got to make sure that they're keeping safe in terms of keeping away from foods that contain potential mercury and listeria. So listeria is a type of bacteria in foods that can actually be quite dangerous for a pregnant woman to have. It can cause miscarriage or harm to the unborn baby. So things like having sashimi is off the cards in that regard. And also things like soft cheeses or salads that have been hanging around for a while. That sort of thing. But the other thing you touched on there was mercury, and that's usually accumulates in fish, like larger fish, so things like shark, or called flake. So if you go to the fish and chip shops regularly, then you should really be minimising that in terms of trying not to have more than 1 serve per fortnight. So the small fish is okay, so the tins of tuna, little tins of salmon are okay, but it's more those larger fish like orange roughy and shark, flake, that you have to be a bit careful with your intake.
Okay, so iron levels are obviously important.
Yeah, iron levels are important as well. So, women obviously can consume it from their diet, but they'll get checked by the doctor as well. And if iron levels are low, they might work with a dietitian or a doctor and they might put them on a supplement if they can't get it from their diet. Yeah.
Okay. But you certainly don't need to eat for 2. My thing is, rather than eating for 2, I'm trying to eat for double nutrition.
That's right, exactly. So there still needs to be healthy weight gain in pregnancy as well, because the fact that if you're gaining too much weight in pregnancy, it can increase your risk of gestational diabetes, and it can also increase the risk that your child will be more prone to obesity or metabolic diseases later in life.
And we've learned that through the research of epigenetics.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learnt that as well. So in terms of epigenetics, how you eat in your pregnancy can actually affect the control of your baby's genes, which is really fantastic.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
And also particularly if you are having a female, if you are growing a female fetus, then you can also have an impact on their eggs, which can then impact therefore on your grandchildren, just by the way in which you're feeding yourself.
Yeah, well actually epigenetics, you're right. It can go back in terms of your grandparents. So what your grandparents ate can actually affect you, which is
extraordinary.
Crazy. So hopefully our grandparents.
But perhaps that's why we're seeing the generations of obesity that we're now seeing.
Yeah, that's right.
Potentially, because we are having such we've had such an epidemic over the last few generations that it's going to take us potentially a while to clean this all up.
Yeah, so it's obviously genes and epigenetics plays a role, and then obviously we place people in the environment that we're in at the moment, and yeah, we've got a bit of a perfect storm for
Obesity.
obesity, yep, and health-related problems due to diet, yep.
Okay, well, just before we finish up, so I came in very quickly before we started filming, starving, and I had an apple, a handful of nuts, and a piece of my paleo berry banana loaf that I'd cooked up last night. What do you think? Feel free.
So, right.
Shoot me down if you need to.
No. What was in that paleo?
It was almond meal, banana, berries, a little bit of cinnamon, some nut butter, chia seeds, and a little bit of coconut oil.
Right, okay, so we had healthy fats in there. Yeah, we had some fibre coming in there. We had lots of vitamins and minerals.
From the fruit?
Yeah. We had some slow release carbohydrates.
Oh, there was some walnuts in there as well.
But high in omega-3, and you had the chia seeds. So you're getting some non-fish sources of omega-3 coming in there, which is great for your growing baby. And
then I had an apple.
So we've got some fibre coming in there, and lots of vitamins and minerals, and polyphenols, which are quite protective. We've got antioxidant types properties in them. So.
And then I had a handful of, I was hungry. And then I had a handful of nuts.
Mixed nuts?
Yeah, it was macas, cashews, predominantly those two, and I think a couple of walnuts as well.
Beautiful. So a real mix of unsaturated fats in there and different types of nutrients. So yeah, pretty healthy diet there. Sounds good. Yeah.
Super baby.
On that though, we don't necessarily have to have complete paleo, right?
Oh no.
Just we still need the grains.
And the green leafies. They come in.
Yeah.
Wait till you leave. I'm hooking in.
Fantastic. All that folate in there, very important.